the brokers brought us this deal. They considered buying this building, increasing the rents of the covered parking, the market, which would almost increase the value of the building by $1 million just by that. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of the Refined Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host here, Manny, and my co-host, Ian. And yeah, we're happy to be back. We're going to talk to you this week a lot about what we did last week. Ian went to Cleveland, and I was in Toronto, and we'll get into all of the details of what we've got going on. But once again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I want to remind you to please subscribe on our YouTube channel, like, and leave a comment on Spotify, on Apple. All of that helps with the algorithm and lets more people know what we're doing. And it grows our audience a little bit more, and we can share our knowledge of real estate and entrepreneurship to more and more people. But yeah, with that being said, Ian, what's going on, man? How was your weekend, and how was last week in Cleveland?
Yeah, week was great. Weekend was also great. It finally starting to feel like spring around here, which is nice after, wasn't a terrible winter, but we definitely had some big snowfalls. But it's, like we were out in like t-shirts. I had my first barbecue last week or over the weekend. So that was really great. What about yourself?
I am doing well. I just got in from a walk, and it's funny you said the weather was nice. When we started our walk, it was fine. And then in the middle of the walk, it started hailing, like a lot of hail for like 10 minutes. This is Nova Scotia weather for you guys. The joke is like you'll wake up in the morning, it'll be spring, and the afternoon, it's going to be fall. Late afternoon, it could be winter again. That's Nova Scotia. But my weekend was great. Yeah. Legit, four seasons.
So, okay, I guess let's start with you. How was your weekend? For those of you that don't know, Manny will catch you up on what he was up to.
Yeah, I guess if anyone that listens to this is not sure, but I'm a coach in an educational platform about real estate called Wealth Genius. And this past weekend, I had my first opportunity to speak on stage in front of 100+ people. And it was a little nerve-wracking, but I think it went well, to be honest with you. Before I went on stage, I was a little nervous, but then while I was on stage, it went quite smoothly. It's crazy. Being on stage is very similar to when you have a podcast or when you're in the public eye, because it adds a layer of legitimacy to whatever you're doing. People stop looking at you as just, a normal real estate investor. Alfonso, like the head of Wealth Genius, he always talks about separating yourself from the batch, right? And making yourself the real estate investor. And that's kind of what it does. And I noticed it almost immediately. After I got off stage, I had a lineup of people that wanted to talk to me. And it was cool. It was a little overwhelming, but it was pretty nice, to be honest with you, because now these people see me as an expert on the topic of USA investing. And that's great. It helps on so many layers. It helps raising capital on future deals, because people will now know this guy's a legit U.S. investor. He knows what he's doing. I got to showcase some of our past deals, some of our current deals. So people are excited now. They're like, wow, they see what we have going on in the United States, and they're shocked. I showcased that 97 unit deal that you'll talk about a little bit more later, and the price that we're getting it for. And it's, when I told them the price, like you could hear an audible gasp throughout the whole auditorium, because they all know, like, if that building was in Toronto or if it was in Halifax, the price could potentially be, 8-9 times higher with the strong rents. So it was pretty cool to be able to kind of open people's eyes. And at the same time, it's nice to give back to the community. One cool thing too is that I got to speak on Sunday. So I had Friday and Saturday and Sunday morning to kind of talk to people and network and get to know people. Because if I was to talk on Friday morning, I would have been a little bit more nervous, because a lot of them were strangers. I had never met most of them before. But since I got to talk and get to know these people throughout the weekend, when I got up on stage and I just kind of looked down, I was seeing like a bunch of my friends. These were people that I've gotten to know and speak to over the weekend. They weren't strangers anymore. So it was cool. I enjoyed my time up there. I got some laughs. The weekend as a whole, I think, was quite successful. the whole point was, to kind of educate people on U.S. investing and that it's not as hard as they think. And I think me and Thomas and Donalta and Alfonso, we really opened everybody's eyes on what's possible down just below the border.
Oh, that's awesome. No, I saw a few highlights from the weekend, but obviously wasn't there to hear you guys speak or anything. But no, that's awesome and a good crowd. I heard it was a good turnout, all that type of stuff. So no, that's awesome. So yeah, so you got to talk about what I was doing a few days before. So, yeah, so I on Tuesday flew out to Cleveland and yeah, had a great time. I got there a bit earlier than everyone else. So I actually went to the building that we're trying to get under contract and just walked around the area there. So that was pretty cool. Then the rest of the crew showed up later that evening. We had some nice dinners with like our property managers and realtor and everything that we know down there. And then I think it was the Wednesday. It was one of the heavier days of walking I've had in a long time. So we not only went to the 97 unit building, we went to a 160 unit building, we went to an 80 unit building, and then we walked over all 100 units that we own. So it was a lot of walking, a lot of talking, a lot of carrying on, but it was so crazy to see. So I'm sure the guys filled you in on it, Manny, but filling the our listeners on it. Cleveland, even in the last year from like when you and I first went, it's crazy the amount of development that's there, the amount of like brand new multifamily buildings going up and like not just in like little pockets, but like right beside the very first building we bought down there, the 24 unit, like across the street, there's these brand new developments going in and I'm just blown away. Haran, one of our partners, it was his first time in Cleveland and he thought he was going to be going into a bit of a war zone, but it actually turned out he was just blown away by how nice everything was, how friendly the people were, and just like, yeah, again, all the development, all the industry that's going on there. So yeah, Cleveland is not what most people picture it as. It's actually like a thriving area that's got a lot of development going on, and yeah, a place where I'm happy to say we've got buildings in. So yeah, that whole part of it was definitely very cool. And again, Brett, the realtor that we know down there, he took us out to some nice areas, nice places to eat, by all the golf courts, high-end homes, all that type of stuff. So that part's always cool. Yeah, I told him next time we go down, hopefully later in this summer, we'll go down, bring the golf clubs, and actually get to take in a little bit of what Cleveland has to offer. So that'd be great. But yeah, the main task at hand down there was walking this 97 unit building that we're really trying to get under contract. We should actually hear back on that end of this week, early next week, and yeah, we'll be happy to present that to all of our loyal listeners here in what we hope to be a few weeks. We feel really good about our offer. We went in above what the pricing guideline was, but that still translates to about 40,000 a unit, which is again like that quieted the whole crowd up in Toronto, and it quiets pretty much anyone I bring that to, because it's just crazy that you can get real estate at that price. Like to build that, it would be probably closer to 150 per unit. And for us to go in
That's
and
cheap.
just, yeah, that's what I mean. So like I really don't see why more people are flocked to Cleveland yet, but you can definitely tell that, there's way more development going on there. So it's definitely not going to be a secret for too much longer. And again, we're in our group sharing all the articles coming around saying that Cleveland's an area with really great cash flow, and we're seeing like some really good appreciation, all those types of metrics. pointing it towards being a really good city for investment. So it's good for us as people that, we've already got our feet down there. But I feel like the competition's gonna really start ramping up there. It's like the East Coast, like, 6, 7 years ago. It's undervalued, but there's still like a very strong rental market there. Like we can just, even from our other buildings, the rents that we're getting, a couple $100 from what the previous property managers were renting. And again, like we don't have to go in and double the rent. We only have to increase them maybe 20, 25% to hit the targets that we need to hit. So yeah, it was really impressive. Like I mentioned, we got to walk this 97 unit, and then there was another building less than a block away, and it was selling for closer to 80 or 90,000 per unit. And so we got to walk the building, see what we were up against, or what standard we had to get the building to. And we were with the property managers, so it was just a conversation of, how much do we need to spend to get us to this level and above. And yeah, it was great.
That's exciting, man. Yeah, I used to tell people that we're investing in Cleveland, and they're like, it has like a stigma behind it because like historically, it's not like a sexy town, right? It's not the Dallases or the Texas or the Floridas where everybody thinks that Canadians are going to go invest in. But the numbers work. The numbers are solid. You shouldn't be picking these apartment buildings based off emotion. It should be a strictly a numbers based decision, and the numbers just bear out in Cleveland. And I like what you mentioned there about how the secret about Cleveland is not going to be around much longer. Because I had a lady come up to me and she's like, "You guys like Cleveland? I like Cleveland too, but there seems to be a lot of people looking into Cleveland." I'm like, There's a lot of Canadians looking into Cleveland, but there is not a lot of Canadians actually buying. That's the thing. That's what separates Venture Co. and what we're doing from the rest. You can look at deals all day. It doesn't matter. I can look at deals till I'm blue in the face, but if you're not buying them, it doesn't matter. We're buying stuff in Cleveland. We teach our students and our investors and our partners how to buy stuff in Cleveland. We have the team set up for you. Yeah, it's doable, guys. And I feel like Ian is right. Competition will ramp up. Soon enough, people will be kind of overwhelmed by the numbers. And it's like a shiny object that it'll get too bright for you to ignore. But there's still opportunity. There's still opportunity for other people to get into the Cleveland market. There's plenty enough to go around. Somebody asked me, "Oh, you guys are going to buy up all of Cleveland." I'm like, "We're not going to buy up all of it. We'll buy up our fair share, but there's room for others. There's room. Come along the gravy train with us, guys. Cleveland's nice."
Yeah. Yeah, and it also helped that it was like 20 degrees when we were there. Like we're leaving like chilly Nova Scotia, and we were down there, and it was like t-shirt weather. Like it was so nice. But yeah, so no, again, we're a few days away finding out if our offer is accepted on that. I think it really helped too that we were down, boots on the ground, for a walkthrough of the building. But yeah, we got approached by the broker that was selling it to like submit like this very detailed questionnaire of the actual building, and it got me thinking that's something I definitely want to do on any of the future offers that we have. So it was like asking, like, have you consulted with like a legal team, a tax team, your property managers, all this type of stuff. Wanted a little bio on everything. So I just thought that is such a great tool to use on any of our future purchases to say, hey, listen, guys, like we're not just throwing out a number here, but we've actually chatted with everyone in our network about the deal. We've got their, professional advice on all the various topics, and it kind of spells out our plan moving forward on the deal. Like it was asking about some of our projections, what our budgets were we aware of all the material that they had sent over? So it was a bit of an acknowledgement there, but it's something that I want to start doing standard with all of our deals, is basically submitting with our offer this, a 50-point questionnaire that just shows that, hey, we've done our homework. We know what the risks are. We know what the budgets are. And this is going to help strengthen our case for giving the sellers confidence that we're actually going to close on it. So that was definitely a cool thing that they put out that I'd like to make standard there. So yeah, that was pretty cool. What else can we say about this deal, Manny?
About the questionnaire too, I very much agree. Like they want to know our ability to close, right? So they want to be confident in us. So many people put offers on these buildings, they'll lock it up for 2, 3 months and then they won't close. And then the sellers are they wasted so much time. So I love the idea of the questionnaire, and you're right. We're going to use this thing moving forward because it will give us an advantage when we put our offers in. The buyers, or sorry, we're the buyers. The sellers will see this questionnaire. It'll tell them about, Venture Co, what we're doing, because it gives them confidence that we'll be able to close. Because obviously we're syndicating these deals, we're raising capital, and there's a layer of risk of that for the sellers, because as opposed to somebody coming in and they have their own money, because then you don't have to raise cash, they have the cash. We have to raise the cash. But with this questionnaire and we show them our track record, what we've been doing, it makes them be confident in our ability to close. I know people that will put offers on apartment buildings, and since they have a track record in that area, they can get these buildings at a cheaper price. Because let's say, Ian, you made an offer on one of my buildings, and I knew you were strong in that market. You've been buying deals for a long time, but you offer me, I don't know, a couple $100,000 under asking price. I would feel more comfortable selling it to you than some random person that maybe offered me a couple $100,000 over, but they're a complete unknown. I won't have any confidence in their ability to close. So it's like, at that point, do I want to risk letting this random guy lock up my deal for a few months and then risk him just walking away because I don't know anything about him, he has no track record? Or just go ahead and sell it to somebody like yourself that's buying stuff in that market? I trust their ability to close. So little things like this, I think that questionnaire will be very, very beneficial for us moving forward. And if this is something that our viewers are interested in kind of taking a look at, you guys can obviously DM Ian or I on any of the social media platforms, and we can kind of walk you through how we're going to use this to our advantage. But yeah, this deal, it's yeah, man, it's something special. Like, I don't think you can come across an apartment building of this size and this quality, a 2-minute walk away from a major university, that has, so many different exit strategies. That's what I was telling the people too on stage on Sunday, because some people will buy multifamily building and their only exit plan is to refinance, pay off investors or debt partners, and then kind of move on. I'm sure me and Ian know people that have been in pickles that was their plan. And of course, the market changes, and sometimes you can't refinance to the LTV that you planned, or you can't refinance at all because of the market, and the banks are being more strict because of rising interest rates. So this deal, we don't have to. It's not, the refinance is not the only exit. No, there's 97 units. I forget exactly how many have been renovated. I think there's 88 more that need to be renovated.
Yeah.
Right? So 8 have been renovated. So we can renovate, let's say, a third or even half of the units, and then sell it off to the next guy with a lot of meat on the bone for them to kind of increase the value. That's one exit plan. 2, we can actually renovate every single unit and damn near triple the value of the building. And then at that point, we can refinance if we want, or we can also sell. So there's 2 more opportunities there. Or we can just, the brokers that actually brought us this deal, they considered buying this building, increasing the rents of the covered parking, the market, which would almost increase the value of the building by $1 million just by that increase in NOI divided by the cap rate, and then selling it, making $1 million really quickly. Not probably having to do, actually doing no fixing up, nothing, not spending any money, just increasing the rents to market of the garage. So just think about that. That's the beauty of multifamily. Increasing the NOI, decreasing the expenses, that's the key. And if you can do that effectively, there's no doubt you're going to make money, and a lot of money. Like this deal, we'll look at this hopefully in the next 5 years if we get this thing locked up this week, and it's like, wow, we just created, potentially $8 million of value in, I don't know, a 5-year window. That's going to make our investors so much money. It'll make us a lot of wealth over time. and it also provides like a nice place to live for people in Cleveland. 97 units. We'll obviously we'll run the place properly. We're not slumlords. We take care of our units, and we're providing housing to over 100 people, 200 people after we buy this thing in Cleveland. So yeah, that's kind of my quick little blurb about that deal.
Yeah, no, that's great. So I guess another thing, just we've talked about this in the past, but just something to re-hit on. So again, we're in Halifax. When we try and pencil out deals and try and get to like an offer price on something, we do it based on the income approach, which is just simply taking your net operating income and dividing it by your capitalization rate. And again, we've gone in depth in previous episodes for anyone that's not familiar with that process. But so this is a way, again, me as a realtor, you're taught this as a realtor. We've been doing it for years now, just being in the multifamily space. And that should give you what the asking price is. But as we know here in Canada, like the numbers don't add up. Like, the building's only worth X amount on paper and the sellers are asking for 2X. And it doesn't make sense. So down in Cleveland, like the asking price that we got to, the asking price that they were originally asking for, we simply did the income approach to determine what the actual value of the building was, and it pretty much added up. So again, like if we are able to go in and just like change, like Manny said, the parking, we can pretty much, it's about 60 spaces. Right now they're getting rented out for about $50 a space, and chatting with our property managers and anyone else that we chatted with down there, they're saying, yeah, like market could be as high as $150. So you're adding a good chunk of money just with a quick policy change, and could be done in like a month. So yes, you could add a crazy amount of value very quickly just by doing something like that. So again, whenever I've done these analysis on any deals in Canada, the numbers just, it was rare that they would make sense. And if they did, it was like in a rural area. Whereas now the numbers are making sense in like pretty much downtown in a very large city. And again, have the rent there to support it, have the vacancy rates to support it, everything else to support it. So that's, again, a reason why we love Cleveland, is because the numbers actually make sense.
Yeah, and that garage, Thomas showed me the video, the underground, the covered parking. It's sick. It's huge.
Yeah, it's massive.
Massive. So, like, the opportunity even there on that land, if we want sometime, many years in the future, like you could 100% develop something there, some sort of apartment.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, imagine having the land 2-minute walk from a university with the ability to build like a large skyscraper right there, like another 7-story building or whatever it might be. Or again, like sell that as part of the package. So like, yeah, we could do no renovations. We could just sit on the building for a year and get the permits in place to do a development there, and then just sell that as a development play. And like again, there's just so many options that we have here. It's like, yeah, we could sell at year 3, we could sell at year 10, we could do some of the renovations, do all the renovations, and refinance or sell off parts of it. Like there's just I just love that there's so many exit strategies on this.
Me too. And I remember when we were doing the underwriting together, and like the value came up to be exactly what it should be worth. I just found that just such a breath of fresh air. I think I told you one time I was looking at a deal in Halifax. You're actually on the Dartmouth side, and their asking price was the ARV. So if I buy this building, I turn over all of the units, I spend 30, 40 grand, renovating these units, the value of the building will now be what I bought it at. And I told that to the realtor. I'm like, hey man, like your asking price is what it should be worth in the future. And he's like, yeah, that's what we're selling. We're selling the upside. Who's buying the upside? It doesn't make any sense. I'm just going to be pouring so much time and money, and turning over those units is going to be a pain in the butt in the environment that we're in right here in Halifax. So yeah, I feel like these guys, these brokers, they're very realistic with their pricing. They understand the market, they understand the cap rate, and yeah, it's amazing. It's rare, and I hope that we get to continue to do more work with them. And I don't know if I mentioned it on our last episode about how this apartment building is the smallest apartment building that the owner actually owns. So I'm sure you guys can understand what that means. If we bought this thing and it went smoothly, who would get first dibs on every other apartment building that he owns? Us. And that would give us a crazy competitive advantage. It's just an old guy, he's just getting ready to retire and get his estate planning in order, and his children don't want to take over these apartment buildings and be big time landlords anymore. So, or anymore, they're not even landlords now, their dad is. So they don't want to take over those responsibilities, and they're just going to sell them off. And this phenomenon is happening all across Canada, America, whether it be real estate, whether it be businesses. The baby boomers are getting old. They are ready to, retire, go to the beach, live the rest of their days sipping mojitos in Hawaii. They don't want to work hard anymore. So this is the opportunity right now. This is the opportunity for any skilled real estate investor or entrepreneur to kind of buy any business or buy any real estate portfolio from these people. And this is what we're going to do. We're taking advantage of this situation that kind of fell in our lap here, and hopefully we can buy this one and then buy the rest of them.
Absolutely. So yeah, no. So by the time we're recording our next podcast, we'll have I hope by then we have an update for you guys on if we'll be moving forward with this deal or not. We're certainly all on gun ho to move forward with it, but we just have to wait on our offer being accepted. So we'll certainly keep all you listeners in the loop on that. Looking forward to, if we do get it under contract, to do a much greater deep dive on this, so we can fill you guys in on what the building is, what it looks like, and then dive into some of the numbers a little bit further. So fingers crossed from all of you out there that by the time this is playing in your ears, that we actually have this building under contract. So yeah, I would say that does it for us today. Anything else to add?
Not too much. I'll give you a shameless plug since we didn't mention it, but if you are somebody that's looking to buy real estate in Nova Scotia, hit up my friend Ian. He is a real estate agent here. I think we mentioned it last week, and I'll reiterate it, how important it is to have a real estate agent that understands real estate investing. And not only that, a mortgage broker that can run numbers for you. So having a real estate agent that can help you run numbers, I don't think you're going to find that anywhere else. Well, you may find it, but no one at the quality of Ian. So just wanted to kind of put that in there. And we're going to keep hammering that one home, because I think investors need a real estate agent that can help them. It's so important. Yeah, but besides that, I want to thank everybody for listening to the second episode of season 2. We'll have many more. I'm sure in the next few weeks, we'll actually have some exciting guests to hop on here and kind of chat with you guys and give you their stories and teach you the journey that they've been on. But besides that, I want to thank you all again for listening. Please don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, all of the platforms. And if you need us, we're very easily to get a hold of. Shift Properties on Instagram, Ian's Refined Real Estate NS, or you can probably hit him up on his personal, wherever he is. Just give him a shout. But once again, thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.